Let's talk to Steven.
Steven's
agent.
Hello.
Nigel, a runner.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
It's going good. What's on your shelf?
Those are old little Little League awards.
Oh, nice. You got an athlete. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to call to see what everyone's favorite boss fight is in a video game.
Ooh. Well,
Doesn't have to be a final one, just boss fight.
there's so many good boss fights, but for me, the first one that comes to mind...
That's a good question.
I know a lot of people... I don't know if this is my favorite, but it's definitely one of the most memorable boss fights for me is Resident Evil 4, the QTE knife fight.
Yeah.
Oh, with Krauser.
That's
Yeah.
a controversial one. There are a lot of people who won't play that.
Because I fucking hate
But
that.
here's the thing.
Yeah.
I am good at QTE, and I beat that thing one try.
Wow,
and,
good job.
And I had so much... I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Yeah. I want to hate that part, but I had so much fun 10 different times with different groups of people. Oh, get it. Oh, you always fuck up the B part. Okay, yeah, let's do this. That came at a time that didn't exist, you know? So I like that. Yeah, if anyone did that now, fuck you. But I like it for what it is. Mm-hmm. Not my favorite, but I see what you're saying.
What is your favorite?
It's really tough to say, but I think the one that comes to mind, I bet there's better ones, but one that comes to mind to me, I thought one of the fights in Twilight Princess, Zelda Twilight Princess, was when you were like grinding down a wall. Like it was almost like you were. I can barely remember it, but you're on a spinning top.
It's the Whoa, you know what?
Yeah.
Zelda Twilight Princess was
yeah.
my favorite boss fight.
Yeah, and it was almost...
It's not that one,
yeah.
but it's a different one from that game. When you first go into the village and that kid gets abducted by those riders and you have to chase them out to the bridge and fight on that bridge.
That was cool.
That was like a holy shit moment for me. Like, wow, this is pretty amazing.
But yeah, for me, the one when you're on that spinning top, it was like Tony Hawk had finally made it to the Zelda world. It was just... You're grinding on that thing, and then once it's kind of tricky to beat, but then once you beat it, they just let you wail on this thing while you're like traveling around it. It was so much fun. That was one that I remember walking away going, I just want to play that boss fight again. I like want to just start back. But in addition to that, for more sentimental reasons, the last fight of Metal Gear Solid 4.
That was mine.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah,
that was mine.
Yeah, that's
just in terms of gameplay, the Zelda one's my favorite, but the story-wise and like whatever. Metal Gear is.
Mine are two from the same game. One is the first boss that you fight in Streets of Rage 2, Barbone. He's a bartender, and because I remember the first time I fought, like it was like raining in the game, and I'm like, oh, I'll just take this guy out. He's the first character that like blocks attacks and like throws you, and I remember being a kid and going, whoa!
Yeah.
What the fuck? And you had to like fight him a different way. And then the very end boss of that game, Mr. X, because he's the only character with a gun. He has like a machine gun, like a Tommy gun. It fucking sprays bullets, and that fight I always really like too, because that's really gratifying.
Mine would be the whole mission, the Deckers.die mission from Saints Row the Third with the Matt Miller fight at the end.
Which one was that?
That's the one where you go inside.
Oh, you're like in the
Deckers
Tron world.
computer. Yeah,
you're in like the Tron world.
because it's Tron world. Then it goes into a text adventure, and
Yeah.
then you fight Matt Miller, and he cheats by throwing in buffering zones against you.
Huh?
I totally forgot about that. That's good.
I was gonna say too. I completely forgot the one that is tied with those that I mentioned, maybe even above. The end in Metal Gear Solid 3. That the hunt of fighting that guy is.
I feel like Metal Gear Solid 3 in general, all the boss fights were awesome.
Yeah. There's one that. There's a
Except maybe
couple
the
that
Fury.
are, like B-Man or whatever is like, yeah, okay, let me just kill this guy. But
The Fury and the Pain were meh.
yeah, there's lots of great stuff. Anyway.
Damn.
Can I say another one?
Yeah.
The Stygian fight from Darksiders.
I don't
Darksiders.
I don't think any of us played that.
I love that game. But you fight this giant hell worm on your horse in this big area. You just gotta. It's really expansive. You got to make this thing pop out and fight it.
Someone in the chat said Mad Dog from Time Crisis. Yeah, I used to play the shit out of Time Crisis.
Which one was Mad Dog?
He was like the second to main boss. He wore like a leather jacket, and he just like had this detonator in his hand. I don't know. Just I love Time Crisis. He was just like one of the later bosses. The final boss was like this rich guy who wore a suit. It's been so long since I played Time Crisis, but I remember I always liked Mad Dog more. And when you killed him, he would like drop the detonator. It was very cinematic. Cool shit. I used to play the shit out of Time Crisis.
I just beat Fat Man.
Did any of you guys ever play Devil May Cry 4?
4, I didn't play it all the way through.
Because that has like the cool scene where like you're a different character from Dante, and you fight him as a boss, and he's got all the crazy like his powers from like the first 3 games.
Huh.
So that was something I thought was awesome.
Hey, let me ask you, unrelated, did you like DMC?
I actually never bought DMC. I wasn't a huge like. I wasn't one of those kids that started like yelling at it because he didn't have white hair.
Yeah.
I never bought it. I played the demo. Thought it was okay. I'll wait for a price drop and probably pick it up.
I was just curious because
awesome.
I find that almost anybody I talk to that played 4 wouldn't go near a DMC. It was like, no.
It's not that I wouldn't go near it. It's just like they changed it around a lot because like I liked the first 4 so much. But I really liked what they did with like the way the levels looked. Like the city was all messed up and like that
game. I see what you mean. There were a lot of if you were real in tune with the gameplay of those old Devil May Cries, I get that that's a little bit of a turnoff. But in terms of level design, that new one was so great. Like
it was very cool.
Yeah, that artistically, I really liked it. What were we gonna say? What
You played that
DMC?
one?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say on top of that last fight, what do you think of the Raptor News fight?
Oh yeah, that was awesome. That was
where you're fighting
absolutely
through the logos and the
visually
graphics.
that might be one of the coolest bosses ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, give it a try.
Is that the guy that's like the news guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But the first 4 just have awesome boss fights. Like the third one has the Virgil fights, which are always just cool.
Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Well, thanks for your call, man.
That was a good question,
thanks for taking me.
Sorry.
You're on.
Take care.
See you later.
That was a good question.